Alright, what's up guys? So this is going to be a bit of a continuation video on what I talked about last time. So this is Tesla on a 4-hour time frame. So I'm looking at this key level of significance at the 240 mark. And then once again, I talked about how even numbers are more likely to be significant. That's just human nature. You can see that I talked about the 260 line on Friday, and you can see it's happening again at 240. And the 240 is more significant than the 260, I would say, because look, over here it broke through it, and then it retested that, right? It became its resistance, but it broke through the resistance, and then that became support again, right? And then this is over in October, right? So this right here was early October, and then over here this is October the 14th, right? So this is over about a 2-week time frame. So you can see that if it's respecting it over 2 weeks, then it's most likely going to respect it again once it comes today, right? Because people respect lines, people react to things that have happened in the past, human nature, right? We can talk about that more. Let me know if you guys want to know more about that subject. We can dive into it. But right now, so this is that 240 level of significance that I was talking about, more specifically 238. Let's see, 238 around 238.50 more specifically. So you can see that I talked about it earlier. It wasn't really going to break that, or it was going to have a hard time breaking that. You can see that it is doing that today. We talked about that on Friday. So it came down, a lot of seller sentiment once again. People are once again still confused, scared. People don't know what's happening. You can see that showing in the big volume candle down here, because the volume is really where you're going to see the amount of buyers and sellers, right? Really who's dominating the market. And at the beginning of the day, that's really significant because that's when the most people are in the market, right? So at the very morning, we're seeing a huge volume spike right here from the sellers. So it's most likely going to continue to drive down, but also as it's driving down, it has this level to break, the 238.50 mark, around there. But so now the next question we have to ask ourselves is it going to be able to break this? And if it can't, what's its move, right? So really, what I'm looking for right here is I'm looking, okay, well, sellers are still in the market, okay, and this is when I would reference my RSI. So right now this is on the 1 minute. So to clean this up a little bit, I'd rather put this on the 15 minute just to see, okay, well, each candle, is the average of the last 15 minutes. So it's going to give you a better understanding, right, where the stock is just headed, right? It's going to clean it up like this. Right now you can see a little bit more of a retrace here. And if you look at this candle specifically, you can see it really didn't move much, right? It opened here and then closed up here. And you can see that by the bar on the handle. But you can see the candle, the wick of it, the handle of the candle came all the way down here, showing that this... What? Alright, so a bit of continuation, right? Tried pushing down, showing that there's seller sentiment in the market, trying to push it. Can't break that. And so then the reason I bring up my my RSI and my MACD, because it's going to show me whether or not right now the stock is overbought or oversold, right? That's where the RSI. So right now it's oversold, right? So you can see that there's more sellers to buyers, but that will change soon. And that's also seconded by the MACD. Once again, obviously it's not explaining the indicators at depth at all. Make sure you understand the limits of your indicators, right? Because obviously I don't want to just trade off my indicators, because that's what they are. They're just indicators. They're supposed to help me confirm my moves. So the move that I'm looking at right now is, how is it going to react to this major level, and is it going to be able to break it? Right now my prediction is no, and that's also based on the MACD. So the MACD obviously just takes into account the amount of volume, from the buyers and sellers, and you can see that sellers held it. Sellers were in momentum, but that momentum now is being washed out by the buyers, right? You can see that there's less and less buyers there's less and less sellers, sorry, in the market. And once again, it is showing oversold, so it has to correct a little bit. There has to be a bit of volume correction from the buyers and sellers, just to make sure that the stock is trading at a healthy level and it's not momentum driven, right? This really shows me whether or not this is momentum from either the buyers or the sellers. And I want to pay attention to that, because the moves of momentum aren't sustained, right? It's only whenever there's a real fighting where the buyers and sellers are going to show their hands at prices, and then those are going to become significant, right? Otherwise, if it's not really that significant, it's just going to break through, and then it's going to cause, but maybe come back to it, right? You really don't know. That's why you want, because of what you don't know, that's why you want to have such healthy caution going into the market, so then that way you're not caught off guard, right? Because it's easy to look back at a chart and go, oh yeah, that move was so obvious, but this is what it looks like real time. This is what it looks like in the day. We really don't know, so that's why you want to play it safe. And so then of course you can see these candles right here, they're reaching right here around the 241 line. So what I'm thinking is, since we have since we have the 200, the moving 200, and also right here, the VWAP. So you can see VWAP is up here, so it's trading below the 200 on the 15 minute, so it's downtrending, right? And you can see that by the big volume, and the fact that it's also below VWAP and it couldn't break above that. Let's see, in pre-market it broke above that a little bit. Sorry, after hours trading broke a little bit above that, but then as soon as it came down, it can't really break it again because sellers are stepping in. Sellers stepped in, right? Sellers were stepping in the pre-market. Sellers stepped in the actual market, right? So now I think what we're going to see is we're going to see touch this VWAP and seeing if it's going to go up. But I don't think it's going to be able to break this, and at least intraday, I think it's going to have a difficult time. I think saying that it's not going to, obviously, I can't predict the future. I don't know. So take what I say with a grain of salt. Do your own research. But based on what I've seen, it couldn't break this level before in the past, or this level was so significant in the past that it can't just break it that easily, right? It's not momentum driven, right? This is a real level that buyers and sellers are fighting at. So it can't break that. So I think that's why it's going to continue to trade sort of. I think it's going to range, because I think overall, if we go to Yahoo Finance, this is one of my favorite sites to use, and I use this when I trade all the time, especially looking at the sectors, right? Overall, everything is down. Right, most everything is red, so most likely everything is going to continue falling. But for Tesla specifically, it has a level it has to break to keep falling. So now you have to ask, is it going to be able to break that? I don't think it will be able to, or it will have a difficult time, and you're going to see a lot of trading sideways before it's able to commit to move down. So do I think that it's sellable right now, Tesla? No, I don't think it is worth, from a day trading perspective. For me, it is not worth shorting it, because I don't have the confirmation that it's going to continue going down. In fact, quite the contrary, it's showing me confirmation that it's going to continue to find support at this level, and it's going to keep going up. Anyway, that's just sort of my 11:36 p.m. analysis on Tesla. Once again, we're going to sort of revisit this as the day goes on. But so far, just continue to watch your levels, read up, find your level of caution, risk management too. Don't risk everything on a trade. Don't do that. It's just never smart. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. If the basket drops, all the eggs are done for. Don't do that with your money. That's just simply not worth it. Diversify your portfolio, put it into different stocks and different sectors if you're looking to do it over time. Obviously, don't take my word as gospel. That's just going to be the safest, right? Spreading it out over different industries. So then that way, the tech industry goes down. If I put all my money in NVIDIA and AMD, those are most likely going to travel together. They're both semiconductors. And chips and AI. Oh, AI bubble. Oh, is it popping? I don't know. Tesla, though, obviously is going to have a little bit of more of a difficult time. This is my take. Tesla's going to have a little bit more of a difficult time with the moves, especially coming back up, considering that Elon Musk is so closely associated with President Trump. And so then we have to watch Tesla's moves with that specifically, because once again, people react. People know that Elon is associated with Tesla. People also know that Tesla's associated with the president now by proxy because of Elon. So people will trade their sentiments based on that. So you want to be keeping that in mind as well when you're thinking of your decisions and thinking, is that showing in any way in the market, right? Come up with an idea, then then have evidence to support that idea before you enter a trade. Don't just have an idea and enter that trade, right? Otherwise, there's that evidence. There's that evidence and confidence. I would say that confidence is the biggest thing that's going to keep you from committing to that, right? If I'm entering in a trade and I'm not so confident on it yet, I'm like, okay, well, I could make money. As soon as it goes negative, right, I'm in anxiety over that, right? I'm like, okay, well, I hope that goes up. So as soon as it shows negative, I'm gonna get out. But if I'm confident in my move, if I'm entering in at a good price and I set my stops, I can commit to the plan, right? Which is important, especially in this market, since there's so much selling and we don't know what's happening. Committing to your plan is going to be the best thing, as well as managing your risk, right? At least those are my take. Those are my words. Take what I say with a grain of salt. Make sure you guys do your own research, and see you guys. Thank you guys.